I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, December the 10th, brought to you in part by Vitalix. Increase feed efficiency and decrease feed costs, improve conception rates on your females, increase average daily gain, and increase weaning weights. Get the blue tub, go to Vitalix.com. No love for the longs, and we've lost our rally on the fat cattle market. Of course, it's been going on for a month or better, and that's really all we ever get. That's all we can dream of getting in a fat cattle rally, and it's because of your CME live cattle futures board. And this, the way that it's set up, it's set up for the short hedgers, and not so much for the long. So we're sitting here with our spot month December live cattle futures closing on Thursday at 136.72. Well, last week's established market was 142. Well, if you think how that thing's supposed to work, why wouldn't packers come in, at least regional packers, and buy up those contracts and then demand delivery on them? Well, it doesn't work that way. You've got to have those loads tendered before you can demand the delivery of them, and then that doesn't happen until really late in the contract month, and it only happens if we've got the basis the wrong way. Otherwise, if we got a positive basis and your cash price is higher than what your spot futures price is, guys will just sell the cattle. But it doesn't do anything for long positions, and so we look for people outside. And long, if you don't know, long is betting on the market to go up, short is betting on the market to go down. So where do we find our longs? We don't find them in this industry. Everybody in this industry is a short hedger to protect their cash investment, and a lot of your lenders dictate that you have to have protection on those cattle, especially when you're feeding cattle in a volatile market. But your longs, you usually look for them with managed money, outside interests, people that are speculating in the market, even things like that. But whenever you get into the contract month, and the way that the board is just kind of set up to have a positive basis like that, it runs all your longs out. And so then you get a basis like what we have right now, and it's guys selling at 140 this week are better off than they were last week selling at 142, because the difference between your cash and your futures price, the basis, is that big. It's over $5 from what last week's market was. So that's all you get. That's as much as we get, because we run with a spot market in that month every other month. So the biggest we could get was at least a month or just a little over a month rally, and we got that. So I guess that's all we can ever ask for. That's just the way it is. I wish we could change that up a little bit, where guys that wanted slaughter cattle could go long in the contract month, in the spot month, and then demand delivery on the cattle, and then that would scare off a lot of your shorts. Wouldn't protect them all the way through the end of the contract month, which is the argument for not doing it. But it would sure make things blend a little better, and it'd sure give a little bit for your longs. But that's just not the way it works. In your grain contracts on the Chicago Board of Trade, they basically work the same way, but you have longs and you have a lot more end users in there. We just don't have enough packers. We only got 4 packers for the most part that matter. And so, but you have a lot of people that use grain for different things. So those grain end users will get in there in the contract month, even go long, and then just sit and wait, because the grain doesn't have a shelf life, and you don't have to you don't have to pluck them like you do fat cattle when they're ripe. So that's just the way things are worked up. So I guess we got as much as we can possibly get out of that rally, and it was a good one. We got your Southern Plains cash fat cattle price all the way up to 142 last week, and that's the best price we've seen in December on the top other than 2014. So I guess we can't complain a lot. Other people are starting to. It feels like people are backing off on some of these negotiated cash mandates because the market's gotten so good. Why did the market get so good? Because we started selling a lot more cattle negotiated cash. If you guys are in the Black Hills this weekend, we've got that cattle market power hour at St. Onge Livestock. It's on Friday evening here, and you guys come. I'm going to be there. We're gonna have a talk. We're gonna visit about things. We're going to educate you about these bills that are out there, kind of what U.S. Cattlemen's all about. And we're going to auction some items off and raise some money for U.S. Cattlemen's Association. And then Saturday we'll have the U.S. Cattlemen's Association's conference right there in Spearfish, South Dakota. So, and it's going to be a good time. If you want to come, just come, because it's going to be a good time. If you guys are in the industry and you got some interest, come to St. Onge Livestock and Justin Tupper. You guys know him. He's the champion of the Senate Ag Committee hearings. He's going to have drinks and tri-tip steaks there for you. So if you want to come out for that, come out and join the party, because we're going to have a good time. Let's talk about your board on Thursday. December live cattle futures, of course, down 82 cents at 136.72. That's what killed us from getting steady money any more than we did on just a few cattle earlier in the week. February down 87, also at 137.80, so it's not selling cattle near as well as we are right now. And you go on your back months, and they were all down just moderately, but down 37 cents to down 75. January feeder cattle contracts up 67 cents after the big down day the previous day, but settled on Thursday at 164.07. March was down 80 at 165.07. Your back months were down 40 cents to 65 cents lower, so not terrible. Your corn was fairly quiet this past week. Kansas City hard red winter wheat continues just bouncing all over the place, but kind of on a low right now, and most of your nearby contracts under $8 a bushel, which $8 a bushel sounds awfully high for hard red winter wheat, but that's just what's been going on with that. Thursday was our big fat cattle trade day, negotiated. Colorado even printed, and we're still seeing quite a bit more negotiated sales than what we typically do, and we have all through this rally here. You've got to have negotiation, guys. How are you ever going to gain $1 if you're always selling off of last week's market? But Colorado 900 head confirmed on Thursday, all at 140, and that's $1 to $2 lower. Iowa had 5,900 head from 138 to 140. Now that was mostly steady, because Iowa had a hard time getting the really top price there last week. But also their dress sales were steady from 218 to 220. Nebraska 14,900 head confirmed on Thursday, and their market was $1 to $3 lower live from 137 to 141. Kind of heavy on the 140 there also, and dress sales mostly steady from 218 to 221. Kansas had 3,800 head confirmed on Thursday, 138 to largely 140. That's your $2 lower. And Texas about 2,600 head from 140 to 140 and a quarter, and that was mostly $2 lower there. But still, we had a nice little rally. A lot of people thought we would never get 130. I was one of those. I didn't think we'd ever be able to get to 130, but I didn't realize how tight our market-ready cattle numbers were going to get. And now that we've got, your prime carcasses on the rail, $80 over what choice is, and these packers got so used to that prime product because of all the cattle that they let stack up during the worst of the COVID that we couldn't get harvested, that they've gotten used to that product, and evidently the consumers and retailers have too. They're really out there searching for the high grading cattle, and they say that the alternative marketing agreements are the only way that we can get those higher cattle. Well, we've seen more negotiated trade. You can go out there and give more for cattle anytime you want to, if you know what they look like and you know what it takes to make one grade prime. How about your box beef cutout values? They were kind of mixed on Thursday afternoon, with choice cuts up 44 cents after being down pretty hard this week at 264.55, and selects down 141 at 251.68. Your slaughters running at a pretty good clip, 489,000. That's 1,000 more than last week, the big week that we've had for the whole year at the same time, and 15,000 more than the same week a year ago. But we just have to see what we're going to get on this Saturday. We need a big Saturday to get up around 675,000 harvested for the week, and that kind of cleans things up and keeps us really current. But we've got some weather coming in through the Midwest there, and then through some places in Nebraska, and we'll hope that it doesn't cause some of those bigger slaughter plants to be shut down or running at a lighter load on Friday and Saturday. But we'll see what happens there. Talk about what else is going on. Zactran has been sponsoring Market of the Month here for the last, I guess, couple of years now. But we've got the newest and latest Market of the Month, and this time it is going to be Cherokee livestock sales in Cherokee, Oklahoma. Tell you what, my buddy Jared Herman there is doing a good job running that sale. Sits in a very, very rural area of western Oklahoma. Does a really good job there with that sale. And you know, he had in November that big regional auctioneer competition. I was there. He had 7,500 head of feeder cattle there that day, guys. Well, that and cows too. But that's a huge sale for a regional type sale barn like that. But and what really impresses you is that they had 7,500. He can only hold a little over half of that. So you know, the trucks were coming and going, and he had those all scheduled in to unload. A lot of those cattle that was already pre-sorted, they just went right off the truck and headed right to the sale ring. But also getting excellent prices there at Cherokee Sales Company, and just doing a good job marketing cattle for producers in western Oklahoma. So congratulations to Cherokee Sales Company there. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, or actually before we do that, let's talk a little bit about DV Auction. They're the ones that bring the feeder flash to you. And DV Auction, you know, our bread and butter is production sales, replacement females and bull sales, and we're getting ready to start the busy time of the year here. But we had a pretty busy November. If you look at our DV Auction production sale report there, you'll see that we had online bids of 18,000 bids. Now that's just on our production sales, not counting all the commercial sale barns that we have each and every week too. This is just on our production sales that happen once or twice a year, normally on site for those people that are seed stock producers there. But we had lots sold of almost 3,300 different lots of cattle, and those would be high dollar bulls, a lot of them, and some replacement females, a lot of top genetics included in there. And then we had online sales with on our production sales in DV Auction of 10.4 million on November. So if you guys have a seed stock sale, even if you're just going to hold a big special replacement sale here, these replacements are going to get really hot here in the next year and a half, guys. If you're going to have one of those, we can come to your farm or ranch, or if you're renting a facility, or maybe you want to just do it with video sales, we can bring the TVs and set them up for you. But get a hold of us at DV Auction, and we can sure help you out. We got the biggest buyer base in the business, guys. People that have been registered, been long time buyers, and they can just get on there and go right to work buying your livestock. How about your feeder cattle market? Your real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Thursday, sitting at 161.24, and that was up another 9 cents. So, and you can figure that your feeder cattle market's going to start tailing off now because we've lost our rally and our fats. But gosh, we've just seen record prices that we haven't seen for quite a while every day this week, and it continued on Thursday. Your big high volume sales on Thursday. Pratt livestock, winter livestock at Pratt, 3,500 head there. The yearlings had a higher undertone, but it was a lot of calves there, and the calves sure looked $2 to $3 higher to me on there, and really good sale in Pratt, including 70 head 680 pound feeder steers at 188 1/4. That's as high as you see them anywhere, guys. How about farmers and ranchers livestock in Salina, Kansas? About 3,500 for them too. The steers were selling. It was mostly calves also. Steers were mostly $1 to $3 higher. Heifers not as good, $2 to $5 lower on them, but still a good sale at Salina, Kansas. They'll give you some stick-out quotes from around the circuit there. How about Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the East Barn in Dickinson, North Dakota, way up north there. 110 head, 559-pound steer calves, bring 196.50. Big time quote. How about Burlington Livestock Exchange in Burlington, Colorado? 55 head, 507-pound steer calves, bring 218. That's the best quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday. Your Zach Tran top quote for the day come out of El Dorado Livestock Auction, El Dorado, Kansas. 61 head, 959-pound feeder steers at 166.50. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.